Genesis chapter 21. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had promised. And Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. And Sarah said, God has made me laugh, everyone who hears will laugh with me. She added, Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw that the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, was mocking. So she said to Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not inherit with my son Isaac. And this thing displeased Abraham greatly because of his son. But God said to Abraham, Do not be distressed about the lad and your bondwoman, in all that Sarah says to you, listen to her voice, for in Isaac your offspring shall be called. But also of the son of this bondwoman I will make a nation, because he is your offspring. So Abraham rose early in the morning, and took bread and a skin of water, and gave them to Hagar, putting them on her shoulder. He also gave her the boy and sent her away. And she departed, and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And when the water in the skin was gone, she cast the boy under one of the bushes. And she went and sat down opposite him, a good way off, about a bowshot away, for she said, Let me not see the boy die. And she sat opposite him, and lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the boy, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, What troubles you, Hagar? Do not be afraid, for God has heard the voice of the boy where he is. Arise, lift up the boy, and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. And God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the wilderness and became an archer. He lived in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt. At that time Abimelech, together with Phicol the commander of his army, spoke to Abraham and said, God is with you in everything you do. Now therefore, swear to me here by God that you will not deal falsely with me, or with my son, or with my grandson. According to the kindness that I have shown you, you will show kindness to me and to the land where you have sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. But Abraham rebuked Abimelech because of a well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized. Then Abimelech said, I do not know who did this, and you did not tell me, nor did I hear of it until today. And Abraham took sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. But Abraham set apart 7 ewe lambs from the flock. And Abimelech said to Abraham, What is the purpose of these 7 ewe lambs that you have set apart? And he said, You shall take these 7 ewe lambs from my hand, that they may be a witness that I dug this well. Therefore that place was called Beersheba, because the two of them swore an oath there. So they made a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his army, rose up and returned to the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba and called there on the name of the Lord, the eternal God. And Abraham sojourned in the land of the Philistines many days. Chapter 22. And it came to pass after these things, that God tested Abraham, and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning, and saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and he cut wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. On the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey, I and the boy will go over there and worship, and then we will come back to you. And Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son, and he took the fire and the knife in his hand, and they both went on together. Then Isaac spoke to Abraham his father and said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am, my son." And he said, "Here is the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" And Abraham said, "God will provide for himself the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." So they both went on together. And they came to the place of which God had told him, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven, and said, "Abraham, Abraham." And he said, "Here I am." Then he said, "Do not lay your hand on the lad, nor do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld from me your son, your only son." Then Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram caught by its horns in a thicket. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of that place "The Lord will provide," as it is said to this day, "On the mountain of the Lord it will be provided." Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven, and said, "By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done this thing and have not withheld your son, your only son, that I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies. And through your offspring all nations on earth will be blessed, because you obeyed my voice." Then Abraham returned to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt in Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things, that it was told Abraham, saying, "Behold, Milcah also has borne children to Nahor your brother. Uzi his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram. And Chesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And his concubine, whose name was Reumah, she also bore him Tebah, Gaham, Tahash, and Maacah. Chapter 23. And Sarah lived 127 years, these were the years of Sarah's life. And Sarah died in Kiriath-arba, which is Hebron, in the land of Canaan, and Abraham came to lament Sarah and to weep for her. Then Abraham rose from before his dead, and spoke to the sons of Het, saying, "I am a stranger and a sojourner among you, give me a possession of a burial place among you, that I may bury my dead from before my face." And the sons of Het answered Abraham, saying to him, "Hear us, my lord, you are a mighty prince among us, bury your dead in the choicest of our burial places, none of us will withhold from you his burial place, that you may bury your dead." Then Abraham rose and bowed down before the people of the land, before the sons of Het, and spoke to them, saying, "If it is your will that I bury my dead from before my face, hear me and speak for me to Ephron the son of Zohar, that he give me the cave of Machpelah, which he has at the end of his field, let him give it to me for the full price as a burial site among you." Now Ephron dwelt among the sons of Het, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the sons of Het, all who entered the gate of his city, saying, "No, my lord, hear me, I give you the field, and I also give you the cave that is in it, in the sight of the sons of my people I give it to you, bury your dead." Then Abraham bowed down before the people of the land. And he spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, saying, "But if you are willing, please hear me. I will give you the price of the field, take it from me, and I will bury my dead there." And Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, "My lord, hear me, the land is worth 400 shekels of silver, what is that between me and you? Bury your dead." And Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out to Ephron the silver that he had spoken of in the hearing of the sons of Het, 400 shekels of silver, current among merchants. So the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, opposite Mamre, the field and the cave that was in it, and all the trees that were in the field, which were all around it, were confirmed to Abraham as a possession in the sight of the sons of Het, of all who entered the city gate. And afterward Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah, opposite Mamre, which is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. So the field and the cave that was in it were confirmed to Abraham by the sons of Het as a burial possession. Chapter 24. Now Abraham was old and well advanced in years, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to his servant, the oldest of his household, who had charge of all that he possessed, put your hand under my thigh. That I may make you swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. But you will go to my country and to my kindred, and take a wife for my son Isaac from there. The servant said to him, what if the woman is unwilling to follow me to this land? Shall I then take your son back to the land from which you came? And Abraham said to him, see to it that you do not take my son back there. The Lord God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and who spoke to me and swore to me, saying, to your descendants I will give this land, he will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. But if the woman is unwilling to follow you, then you will be released from this oath of mine, only do not take my son back there. Then the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master and swore to him concerning this matter. Then the servant took 10 camels of his master's camels and departed, for all his master's goods were in his hand. He arose and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. He made the camels kneel down outside the city by a well of water in the evening, at the time when the young women go out to draw water. And he said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, grant me success today, and show kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and the daughters of the men of this city are coming out to draw water. Let it be that the young woman to whom I say, please lower your pitcher that I may drink, and she says, drink, and I will also give your camels a drink, let her be the one you have appointed for your servant Isaac, and by this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master. And it happened, before he had finished speaking, that Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, came out with her pitcher on her shoulder. And the young woman was very beautiful to look at, a virgin, whom no man had known, and she went down to the spring, and filled her pitcher, and came up. Then the servant ran to meet her and said, please let me drink a little water from your pitcher. She said, drink, my lord. And she quickly lowered her pitcher to her hand and gave him a drink. And when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, I will draw water for your camels also, until they have finished drinking. So she quickly emptied her pitcher into the trough and ran back to the well to draw water, and drew water for all his camels. The man was amazed at her, remaining silent to know whether the Lord had made his journey successful or not. And it came to pass, when the camels had finished drinking, that the man took a gold nose ring weighing 1/2 shekel, and 2 bracelets for her hands weighing 10 shekels of gold, and he said, whose daughter are you? Please tell me. Is there room in your father's house for us to stay? She said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. She added, we have plenty of straw and fodder, and room to spend the night. Then the man bowed down and worshipped the Lord. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his kindness and his faithfulness toward my master. As for me, the Lord has led me on the way to the house of my master's relatives. Then the young woman ran and told her mother's house about these things. Now Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran out to meet the man at the spring. And it happened that when he saw the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's hands, and when he heard the words of his sister Rebekah, who said, Thus the man spoke to me, he went to the man who was standing by the camels at the well. And he said, Come in, you who are blessed by the Lord. Why are you standing outside? I have prepared the house and a place for the camels. So the man came into the house, and they untied the camels and gave straw and fodder to the camels, and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. Then they set food before him. But he said, I will not eat until I have spoken my words. And he said, Speak. Then he said, I am Abraham's servant. And the Lord has greatly blessed my master, so that he has become great, and he has given him flocks and herds, and silver and gold, and male and female servants, and camels and donkeys. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore my master a son in her old age, and he has given him all that he has. And my master made me swear, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. But you shall go to my father's house and to my family, and take a wife for my son. Then I said to my master, Surely he will not follow me the woman. And he said to me, The Lord, before whom I have walked, will send his angel with you and prosper your way, so that you may take a wife for my son from my family and from my father's house. Then you will be released from my oath when you go to my family, and if they do not give her to you, you will be released from my oath. And today I came to the spring and said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, if you will now prosper my way in which I walk. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, let it be that the young woman who comes out to draw water, to whom I say, Please give me a little water from your pitcher. And she says to me, Drink, and I will also draw water for your camels, let her be the woman whom the Lord has appointed for my master's son. Before I had finished speaking in my heart, Rebekah came out with her pitcher on her shoulder. She went down to the spring and drew water, and I said to her, Please give me a drink. She quickly lowered her pitcher from her shoulder and said, Drink, and I will also give your camels a drink. So I drank, and she also gave the camels a drink. Then I asked her, Whose daughter are you? She said, The daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him. Then I put the ring on her face and the bracelets on her wrists. And I bowed down and worshipped the Lord and blessed the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who had led me in the way of truth, to take the daughter of my master's brother for his son. Now therefore, if you will show kindness and truth to my master, tell me, and if not, let me know, so that I may turn to the right or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, This matter is from the Lord, we cannot speak to you either good or bad. Behold, Rebekah is before you, take her and go, let her be the wife of your master's son, as the Lord has said. And it came to pass, when Abraham's servant heard their words, that he bowed down to the ground before the Lord. Then the servant took out silver and gold jewelry and clothing and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave precious things to her brother and to her mother. Then he and the men who were with him ate and drank and spent the night. And they rose in the morning, and he said, Let me go to my master. Then her brother and her mother said, Let the young woman stay with us a few days, or at least 10 days, after that she may go. But he said to them, Do not detain me, for the Lord has prospered my journey, let me go, that I may return to my master. And they said, Let us call the young woman and ask her. So they called Rebekah and said to her, Will you go with this man? She answered, I will go. Then they sent away Rebekah their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant, and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, Our sister, may you become the mother of thousands upon thousands, may your offspring possess the gate of their enemies. Then Rebekah arose with her maids, and they mounted the camels and followed the man, and the servant took Rebekah and departed. Now Isaac came from the direction of Beer-lahai-roi, for he dwelt in the Negev. Isaac went out to the field to pray in the evening, and he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, the camels were coming. Rebekah also lifted up her eyes and saw Isaac, and she dismounted from the camel. And she said to the servant, Who is that man coming across the field to meet us? The servant said, He is my master. Then she took her veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Chapter 25. And Abraham took another wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. And Jokshan begot Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Ashurim, Letushim, and Lumim. And the sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. These all were the sons of Keturah. But Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. But to the sons of the concubines whom Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts, and while he was still living, he sent them away from his son Isaac, sending them eastward, to the land of the east. These, then, are the days of the years of Abraham's life, which he lived 175 years. And Abraham breathed his last and died in a good old age, old and full of days, and he was gathered to his people. And Isaac and Ishmael, his sons, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron the son of Zohar the Hittite, which was before Mamre, the field that Abraham had bought from the sons of Het. There Abraham and Sarah his wife are buried. Now it came to pass after the death of Abraham, that God blessed Isaac his son, and Isaac dwelt by the well Beer-lahai-roi. These, however, are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Sarah's maidservant, Hagar the Egyptian, bore to Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names, according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael was Nebaioth, then Kedar, Adbeel, and Mibsam. Mishma, Dumah, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their villages and by their castles, 12 princes according to their families. These are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years, and he breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people. They dwelt from Havilah to Shur, which is opposite Egypt, as one goes toward Assyria, and he made his dwelling place in the presence of all his brothers. These are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel the Aramean of Paddan Aram, the sister of Laban the Aramean, to be his wife. Isaac prayed earnestly to the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord heard his prayer, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it is so, why am I like this? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples shall be separated from your bowels, 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, so they called his name Esau. And afterward his brother came out, with his hand grasping Esau's heel, that is why his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when they were born. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, but Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. Isaac loved Esau because he enjoyed hunting, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Jacob had cooked some stew, and Esau came in from the open country, exhausted. Esau said to Jacob, Let me eat some of that red stew, for I am exhausted. That is why he was called Edom. Then Jacob said, Sell me your birthright today. Esau said, Look, I am about to die, what good is a birthright to me? Then Jacob said, Swear to me today. And he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank, and rose, and went away. Thus Esau despised his birthright.